Welcome to Orange Bowl. Carolina takes on Pennsylvania. Suck up to kick off. The kick from Suckup is returned 18 yards by Morris. Timmons with the tackle. Montana fades back to pass. Long hitch to Tucker. Complete. Montana completes the pass to Tucker. Gain of 21. Scott on the stop. First down. Montana hands to McCoy. McCoy on the carry. Gain of 1. Peppers on the tackle. McCoy takes the handoff. McCoy with a 5-yard run. Eller with the tackle. 3rd and 4 from the 49. Draw to Kelly. Kelly gains 4 on the draw. Johnson on the tackle. First down. 1st and 10 from the 45. Montana barks out the signals. Montana hands to Kelly. Kelly on the carry. No gain. Eller on the tackle. Montana sets up in the pocket. Short hitch. Caught by Marshall at the 36. Montana passes to Marshall. Gain of 12. Gilmore on the tackle. First down. 1st and 10 from the 33. Kelly with the handoff. 8-yard gain by Kelly. Gilmore with the tackle. Transfers control to McCoy. McCoy on the sweep. Loss of 4. Hamburger on the stop. 3rd and 6 from the 29. Montana fades back to pass. Medium cross to Harrison. Complete. Montana completes the pass to Harrison. Gain of 17. Brown with the tackle. First down. 1st and 10 from the 12. Montana hands to McCoy. McCoy with a 1-yard run. Perry with the tackle. Pennsylvania breaks the huddle. 2nd and 9 from the 11. Montana calling signals. Takes a short drop. Pass in the flat. Incomplete. Montana with the pass to McCoy. Incomplete. Bell on the coverage. 3rd and 9 from the 11. Shotgun formation. 11 play 65-yard drive. 7:04 off the clock. Montana drops back to pass. Medium slant. Incomplete. Montana throws incomplete to Harrison. Brown with the coverage. Gould will try from 29 yards. This will give them the lead. Clean snap from Christensen. Gould is good from 29 yards. Pennsylvania 3, Carolina 0. Blanda with the kick. The kick from Blanda is returned 22 yards by Gilliam. Clay on the tackle. Jurgensen hands to Davis. Davis on the carry. No gain. Donald on the tackle. 2nd and 10 from the 28. Jurgensen gives to Davis. Davis the ball carrier. 3-yard gain. Hayward on the tackle. 3rd and 7 from the 31. Jurgensen with a short drop. Short slant to Holt. Complete. Jurgensen passes to Holt. Gain of 11. Rivas with the tackle. First down. Jurgensen gives to Davis. Davis with an 8-yard run. Rivas on the tackle. Jurgensen at the line. He fades back to pass. Short cross to hold. Complete. Jurgensen to hold, gain of 11, Rivas on the tackle, first down. Jurgensen calls out the signals. Jurgensen gives to Davis. Davis on the carry, gain of 5, Klecko on the tackle. 2nd and 5 from the 34. Jurgensen calling signals. Jurgensen pitches right to Davis. Davis on the pitch, no gain, Klecko on the stop. 3rd and 5 at the 34. Jurgensen fades back to pass. Short outside pass to Hopkins, complete. Jurgensen completes the pass to Hopkins, 8-yard gain, Adderley on the tackle, first down. Jurgensen gives to Davis. Davis with the carry, loss of 2, Klecko on the tackle. Jurgensen sets to throw. Short cross to Graham. Incomplete. Jurgensen throws incomplete to Graham, Byard on the coverage. 3rd and 12. Davis split outside. Jurgensen from the shotgun. Jurgensen calling the signals. Current drive, 10 plays, 44 yards. 6:13 off the clock. Jurgensen fades back to pass. Medium crossing pass to Clark. Incomplete. Jurgensen throws incomplete to Clark, low with the coverage. 46-yard try for Suckup. Suckup is good from 46 yards, Carolina 3, Pennsylvania 3. Here's the kick from Suckup. The kick from Suckup is returned 36 yards by Morris, Kirkland on the stop. Hand off to Kelly. Kelly with the carry, gain of 1, Johnson on the tackle. 2nd and 9 from the 38. Montana gives to McCoy. McCoy with the carry, gain of 1, Perry on the tackle. End of the first quarter, Carolina 3, Pennsylvania 3. 3rd and 8 at the 39. Some confusion on the defense. Montana drops back to pass. Medium hitch to Harrison. Incomplete. Timeout, Carolina. Chloe deep in punt formation. A 50-yard punt by Chloe, return of 10 by Medjet. Flag on the field.
False start. Offense, number 79, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Jurgensen at the line. Davis with the handoff. Davis the ball carrier, 4-yard gain, Plank with the tackle. Tie score. 2nd and 11. Jurgensen fades deep. Long hitch to hold. Incomplete. Jurgensen throws incomplete to hold, Rivas with the coverage. 3rd and 11. Jurgensen from the shotgun. Jurgensen back to pass. Medium hitch to Clark. Byard 55 at the 46. Jurgensen is intercepted by Byard, return of 0. Montana is back to pass. Montana passes to Harrison. Incomplete. Montana throws incomplete to Harrison. Tie score. Montana drops back to pass. Medium outside pass. Complete. Montana to McCoy, 12-yard gain, Shell on the stop, first down. Tie score. Montana sets up in the pocket. Short outside pass to Tucker, complete. Montana completes the pass to Tucker, gain of 8, Scott on the tackle. Tie score. Shell in run support. Give to Kelly. Kelly the ball carrier, gain of 2, Johnson on the tackle, first down. Montana at the line. Montana back to pass. Montana throws to Harrison, complete. Montana completes the pass to Harrison, flag on the play.
Holding. Offense. Number 74, 10-yard penalty.
First and 20 from the 24. Montana barks out the signals. Montana fades back to pass. Short crossing pass to Reed. Incomplete. Montana throws incomplete to Reed, Gilmore on the coverage. Shotgun. Montana drops back to pass. Montana will run. Montana on the carry, gain of 3, Shell on the tackle. 3rd and 17 from the 21. Montana at the line. Drops back to pass. Medium fly to Tucker. He makes the catch. Montana with the pass to Tucker, gain of 12, Scott on the tackle. Gould will try from 27 yards. This will give them the lead. Good snap from center. Gould is good from 27, Pennsylvania 6, Carolina 3. Here's the kick from Blanda. The kick from Blanda is returned 40 yards by Medjet. Blanda on the tackle.
Receiving team, 10-yard penalty.
Penalty on the play.
False start. Offense. Number 63, 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
First and 15. Jurgensen pitches right to Davis. With daylight. 28-yard gain by Davis, Rivas on the stop, first down. Jurgensen pitches left to Davis. Wide open field. Davis on the pitch, gain of 14, Schmidt on the tackle, first down. First and 10. Hand off to Davis. Davis on the carry, gain of 4, Schmidt on the tackle. Second and 6 at the 28. Jurgensen back to pass. Short curl to Coates, he's got it. Jurgensen to Coates, 10-yard gain, plank on the tackle, first down. Jurgensen gives to Davis. Davis gets to the second level. Davis on the carry, gain of 15, Schmidt on the tackle, first down. First and goal at the 3. Goal line defense. Jurgensen pitches right to Davis. Davis lost 4 on the play, Hayward on the tackle. Timeout, Carolina. Pennsylvania jumped. Jurgensen pitches left to Davis. Davis on the pitch, 6-yard gain, flag on the play.
Encroachment. Defense. Number 54.
Stacked line. The give to Davis. Davis with the carry, touchdown Carolina. Suckup will try the point after. Suckup converts the extra point, Carolina 10, Pennsylvania 6. The kick from Suckup is downed by Morris. Montana gives to McCoy. McCoy with the carry, gain of 3, Seymour with the tackle. McCoy with the handoff. McCoy on the carry, no gain, Brown on the tackle. 3rd and 7. Montana sets up in the pocket. Screen. Caught by McCoy at the 34. Montana passes to McCoy, gain of 7, Johnson on the tackle, first down. 1st and 10 at the 45. Montana barks out the signals. He fades back to pass. Long slant to Reed. Incomplete. Montana throws incomplete to Reed, Gilmore on the coverage. 2nd and 10 from the 45. Montana fades back to pass. Screen to McCoy. Complete. Montana to McCoy, 23-yard gain, Brown on the tackle, first down. Pennsylvania hustling to the line. Montana with a short drop. Short crossing pass. Incomplete. Montana throws incomplete to Reed, Wilson with the coverage. 2nd and 10 from the 32. Montana deep in the pocket. Screen to McCoy. Incomplete. Montana throws incomplete to McCoy, Bell with the coverage. Penalty on the play.
False start. Offense, number 15, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 3rd down.
Third and 15 from the 37. Montana drops back to pass. He throws to Marshall. Incomplete. Montana throws incomplete to Marshall, Gilmore on the coverage. Kluwe back in punt formation. "37-yard punt by Kluwe, touchback." Jurgensen hands to Davis. Davis gets to the second level. 12-yard gain by Davis, Buffon with the tackle, first down, 2-minute warning. Davis with the handoff. Davis with the carry, gain of 5, White on the tackle. Carolina leads by 4. 2nd and 5 at the 37. 1:50 in the second. Jurgensen hands to Davis. Davis with a 9-yard run, Buffon on the tackle, first down. Jurgensen fades back to pass. Medium outside pass to Coates. Incomplete. Jurgensen to Coates, incomplete, Plank on the coverage. Jurgensen fades back to pass. Medium out to Hopkins. Complete. Jurgensen with the pass to Hopkins, gain of 13, Adderley on the tackle, first down. Carolina ahead by 4. Jurgensen barks out the signals. Fades back to pass. Short outside pass to Coates. Incomplete. Jurgensen throws incomplete to Coates. Jurgensen fades back to pass. Medium out pass. Incomplete. Jurgensen throws incomplete to Graham, Plank on the coverage.
Pass interference. Defense, number 46. Automatic, first down.
Carolina by 4. Current drive, 7 plays, 53 yards. 0:59 off the clock. Jurgensen gives to Davis. Davis with a 7-yard run, Adderley on the tackle. Jurgensen fades back to pass. Medium fly to Graham. Complete. Jurgensen to Graham, touchdown Carolina. Suckup will try the point after. Suckup makes the extra point, Carolina 17, Pennsylvania 6. Suckup with the kick. The kick from Suckup is returned 38 yards by Morris, Timmons on the tackle. Montana with a hard count. He fades back to pass. Screen. Incomplete. Montana throws incomplete to McCoy, Bell with the coverage. Panthers down by 11. Hard count from Montana. Shotgun. Montana calls out the signals. He fades back to pass. Screen to McCoy. Complete. Montana to McCoy, loss of 3, Bell on the tackle. 3rd and 13 from the 38. 0-11 left in the second. Montana with a hard count. Carolina in a prevent. Montana calls the signals. Drops back to pass. Long out. Incomplete. Montana passes to Marshall, incomplete, Gilmore on the coverage. Chloe deep in punt formation. Fumble. 37-yard punt by Chloe, return of 12 by Majek, fumble recovered by Brown, Carolina ball. Here's the kick from Blanda. The kick from Blanda is returned 21 yards by Majek, Grimes on the stop. All eyes on Davis. Jurgensen fades back to pass. Medium slant to hold. Incomplete. Jurgensen throws incomplete to hold. Second and 10 from the 29. Jurgensen at the line. Fades back to pass. Short pass in the flat to Davis, complete. Jurgensen to Davis, gain of 12, Adderley with the tackle, first down. Jurgensen gives to Davis. Davis on the carry, loss of 1, Donald on the tackle. Second and 11 from the 40. Jurgensen at the line. Takes a 5-step drop. Medium cross to hold. Incomplete. Jurgensen to hold, incomplete, Rivas on the coverage. Carolina up 11. 3rd and 11 at the 40. Jurgensen barks out the signals. He fades back to pass. Medium slant. Caught by Hopkins at the 50. Jurgensen completes the pass to Hopkins, gain of 26, Plank with the tackle, first down. Davis takes the handoff. Davis the ball carrier, gain of 7, Buffon on the tackle. Second and 3. All eyes on Davis. Jurgensen with the give to Davis. Davis on the carry, 4-yard gain, Adderley on the tackle, first down. First and 10 at the 23. Jurgensen at the line. Jurgensen hands to Davis. 5-yard run by Davis, Byard on the tackle. Second and 5. Jurgensen hands to Davis. Davis on the carry, no gain, White with the tackle. 3rd and 5. Bad snap. Fumble. Jurgensen on the carry, no gain, fumble recovered by Jurgensen, Carolina maintains possession. 36-yard try for Suckup. Suckup is good from 36, Carolina 20, Pennsylvania 6. Suckup boots it. The kick from Suckup is returned 33 yards by Morris.
Illegal
Simmons on the
block.
tackle.
Receiving team.
Montana at the line. McCoy with the handoff. McCoy with a gain of 8 on the play. Johnson on the tackle. Montana at the line. Hand off to McCoy. 1 yard gain by McCoy. Scott on the tackle. Pennsylvania trailing by 14. 3rd and 1. 7:29 left in the third. The hand off to McCoy. McCoy the ball carrier, gain of 1, Peppers on the tackle, first down. Hand off to Kelly. Kelly with a gain of 3 on the play, Peppers on the tackle. Panthers trailing by 14. 2nd and 7 from the 22. 6:04 in the third. Montana fades back to pass. Long fly. Incomplete. Montana to Harrison, incomplete.
The ruling on the field stands. Incomplete. A timeout will be charged.
3rd and 7 from the 22. Montana sets up in the pocket. Medium fly to Tucker. Incomplete. Montana to Tucker, incomplete. Scott on the coverage.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 13. Automatic. First down.
1st and 10 from the 35. Montana drops back to pass. Medium slant. Incomplete. Montana to Harrison, incomplete. Brown with the coverage. Montana drops back to pass. Long out to Reed. Montana is intercepted by Scott, return of 16. Carolina by 14. Jurgensen at the line. Jurgensen fades back to pass. It's dumped to Coates. Incomplete. Jurgensen to Coates, incomplete. Plank on the coverage. 2nd and 10 from the 38. Jurgensen fades back to pass. Short in. Caught by Holt at the 31. Jurgensen to Holt, gain of 7, Rivas on the tackle. 3rd and 3 at the 31. Jurgensen drops back to pass. Short into Holt. Complete. Jurgensen passes to Holt, gain of 10, Rivas on the tackle, first down. 1st and 10 from the 21. Davis with the handoff. Davis with the carry, gain of 5, White on the tackle. Carolina breaks the huddle. Davis takes the handoff. Davis with the carry, 9-yard gain, Schmidt on the tackle, first down. Carolina by 14. 1st and goal from the 7. Davis with the handoff. Davis with the carry, touchdown Carolina. Suckup will try the point after. Suckup converts the extra point, Carolina 27, Pennsylvania 6. Here's the kick from Suckup. The kick from Suckup is returned 23 yards by Morris, Kirkland on the tackle. Montana gives to Kelly. Kelly on the carry, loss of 1, Eller on the tackle. 2nd and 11. Montana drops back to pass. Medium slant. Diving catch. Montana passes to Harrison, 14-yard gain.
No
Brown with the
timeout will be
tackle.
charged.
First down. 3rd and 11 from the 33. Shotgun. Montana fades back to pass. Medium hitch. Caught by Marshall at the 43. Montana completes the pass to Marshall, gain of 12, Gilmore on the tackle, first down. Montana hands to McCoy. 3-yard run by McCoy, Johnson on the tackle. End of the third quarter, Carolina 27, Pennsylvania 6. 2nd and 7 from the 48. Montana hands to McCoy. McCoy the ball carrier, no gain, Eller on the stop. 3rd and 7 from the 48. Montana fades back to pass. Short hitch to Harrison, complete. Montana completes the pass to Harrison, gain of 32, Wilson with the tackle, first down. Montana with a quick drop. Short hitch to Reed, complete. Montana completes the pass to Reed, gain of 6, Jeter on the tackle. Panthers trailing by 21. Montana hands to McCoy. McCoy lost 4 on the play, Wilson on the stop. 3rd and 8 at the 18. 8-play 48-yard drive. 5:20 off the clock. Montana sets up in the pocket. Montana dumps it to McCoy. Incomplete. Montana passes to McCoy. Incomplete. "36-yard try for Gould. Crisp snap from center. Gould connects from 36 yards, Carolina 27, Pennsylvania 9. Blanda to kick off. The kick from Blanda is returned 37 yards by Mejed, Law on the tackle. Jurgensen calling signals. Davis with the handoff. 10-yard gain by Davis, Buffon with the tackle. Carolina taking their time. Quick toss to Davis. Davis on the carry, no gain, Schmidt on the tackle, first down. Carolina by 18. Slow down offense. Running left. Davis on the pitch, loss of 5, Schmidt with the tackle. 2nd and 15 at the 47. Trips right. Slowly coming to the line. Jurgensen calling signals. The give to Davis. Davis on the carry, no gain, Buffon on the tackle. 3rd and 15 from the 47. Slow down offense. Jurgensen fades back to pass. Medium into Clark. Complete. Jurgensen completes the pass to Clark, gain of 8, Law on the stop. Lee deep in punt formation. Johnson waiting inside his own 10. "30-yard punt by Lee, out of bounds. First and 10. Montana fades back to pass. He throws deep. Incomplete. Montana throws incomplete to Harrison, Brown on the coverage. 2nd and 10 from the 15. Montana drops back to pass. Montana to Reed. Incomplete. Montana throws incomplete to Reed, Jeter on the coverage. 3rd and 10 at the 15. Shotgun formation. Montana drops back to pass. Medium hitch to McCoy. Complete. Montana completes the pass to McCoy, gain of 7, Bell on the tackle. Chloe back in punt formation. "56-yard punt by Chloe, return of 9 by Morgan." Jurgensen hands to Davis. Davis with a gain of 4 on the play, Hayward on the stop. 2nd and 6. Carolina taking their time. All eyes on Davis. Jurgensen gives to Davis. 3-yard gain by Davis, Schmidt on the stop. 3rd and 3 from the 38. Jurgensen working very slowly. Jurgensen gives to Davis. 5-yard run by Davis, White on the tackle, first down. Slow down. Jurgensen yelling out the signals. Davis with the handoff. Davis with the carry, 3-yard gain, Hayward on the tackle. Jurgensen slow to the line. Davis with the handoff. Davis with a 5-yard run, Donald on the tackle. 3rd and 2 from the 49. 2:58 left in the game. Jurgensen working very slowly. Jurgensen gives to Parker. Parker on the carry, gain of 3, Schmidt on the tackle, first down. Slow down. Davis with the handoff. Lots of daylight. 13-yard run by Davis, Adderley with the tackle, first down. 2-minute warning. Hand off to Parker. Parker the ball carrier, no gain, Hayward on the tackle. Slow down. Jurgensen gives to Parker. Parker on the carry, no gain, Buffon on the tackle. 3rd and 10 from the 33. Slow down offense. Give to Parker. Parker with the carry, 4-yard gain, Rivas on the tackle. Carolina 27, Pennsylvania 9. Welcome to Orange Bowl. California against Virginia. Here's the kick from Johnson. The kick from Johnson is returned 22 yards by Harvin, Nickerson on the tackle. Tarkenton drops back to pass. Tarkenton dumps it to Barber. Incomplete. Tarkenton passes to Barber, incomplete. Tarkenton fades back to pass. Dropped by Briggs. Tarkenton is sacked by Briggs, loss of 7. 3rd and 17. Tarkenton in the shotgun. Tarkenton drops back to pass. Blindsided by Porter. Tarkenton is sacked by Porter, loss of 5. Jet back in punt formation. A 53-yard punt by Jet, fair catch by Smith. Brady with the give to Simpson. 7-yard gain by Simpson, Lanier on the tackle. 2nd and 3 from the 27. Brady fades back to pass. Medium hitch to Adams. Incomplete. Brady to Adams, incomplete, Barber with the coverage. 3rd and 3 from the 27. Brady fades back to pass. Medium slant to Adams. Complete. Brady to Adams, 28-yard gain, easily with the tackle, 1st down. Brady sets up in the pocket. Medium slant. Caught by Gonzalez. Brady passes to Gonzalez, touchdown California. Turner will try the point after. The kick by Turner is good, California 7, Virginia 0. Johnson to kick off. The kick from Johnson is returned 44 yards by Gray, Matthews on the tackle. Tarkenton is back to pass. Medium cross to Miller. Complete. Tarkenton completes the pass to Miller, gain of 13, Grayson on the tackle, 1st down. Tarkenton at the line. Takes a short drop. Short hitch to Toon. He dropped it. Tarkenton throws incomplete to Toon, Allen on the coverage. Tarkenton back to pass. Medium cross to Toon. He dropped it. Tarkenton throws incomplete to Toon, Allen on the coverage.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 21, 15-yard penalty. Automatic, 1st down.
Tarkenton fades back to pass. False. Tarkenton has room to run. Tarkenton with the carry, 17-yard gain, Seau on the tackle, 1st down. Stack line. Give to Barber. Barber on the carry, touchdown Virginia. Graham S. will try the point after. Graham converts the extra point, California 7, Virginia 7. Here's the kick from Graham. The kick from Graham is returned 26 yards by Grayson, Sharper on the tackle. Brady at the line. Simpson takes the handoff. Running room. Simpson with a 16-yard run, Sharper on the stop, 1st down. Brady gives to Cunningham. Cunningham with a 2-yard run, Lanier on the tackle. Brady deep in the pocket. Screen to Cunningham. Complete. Brady to Cunningham, 9-yard gain, Sharper on the tackle, 1st down. Simpson with the handoff. Fumble. Simpson on the carry, gain of 3, fumble recovered.
The ruling on the field is confirmed.
Barber takes the handoff. 2-yard run by Barber, Glover on the tackle. 2nd and 8 from the 38. Tarkenton hands to Johnson. Johnson on the carry, gain of 3, Seau on the stop. 3rd and 5 from the 41. Tarkenton barks out the signals. Tarkenton fades deep. Screen. Caught by Barber for a first down. Tarkenton to Barber, gain of 10, Polamalu on the tackle, first down. Tarkenton hands to Johnson. Johnson the ball carrier, no gain, man with the tackle. Tarkenton with the give to Barber. Barber on the carry, loss of 1, Seau on the tackle. 3rd and 11 from the 50. Tarkenton from the shotgun. Tarkenton calls the signals. Tarkenton fades back to pass. Tarkenton dumps it to Miller. Complete. Tarkenton to Miller, gain of 12, Polamalu on the tackle, first down. Tarkenton barks out the signals. The give to Barber. Barber lost 1 on the play, Polamalu on the stop. Tarkenton calling signals. Someone jumped. Give to Barber. Barber on the carry, no gain, flag on the field.
Offsetting penalties. Repeat, 2nd down.
Tarkenton at the line. Tarkenton is back to pass. Medium hitch to Moore. Complete. Tarkenton to Moore, gain of 13, Sherman with the tackle, first down. Tarkenton fades back to pass. Medium cross to Moore. Complete. Tarkenton completes the pass to Moore, touchdown Virginia. Graham S. will try the point after. Graham converts the extra point, Virginia 14, California 7. Graham to kick off. The kick from Graham is returned 2 yards by Grayson, Taylor on the tackle. Running right. Simpson gains 1 on the pitch, Taylor on the tackle. 2nd and 9. Brady drops back to pass. Short slant. Adams with the catch at the 23. Brady completes the pass to Adams, 6-yard gain, Barber on the tackle, end of the first quarter, Virginia 14, 3rd and 3 from the 22. Brady back to pass. Short hitch to Adams. Incomplete. Brady throws incomplete to Adams, Barber on the coverage. Camarillo to punt. "51-yard punt by Camarillo, fair catch by Gray. Tarkenton back to pass. Sacked by man. Tarkenton is sacked by man. Penalty on the
Holding.
play.
Defense. Number 21, 5-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Virginia leads by 7. Moore faces a double at the line. Toon is doubled at the line. Barber takes the handoff. Barber with a gain of 3 on the play, Briggs with the tackle. 2nd and 7. Barber with the transfer. 1-yard run by Barber, Wagner on the tackle. 3rd and 6 at the 36. Tarkenton at the line. Tarkenton sets to throw. Short out to Barber. Complete. Tarkenton completes the pass to Barber, gain of 9, Briggs on the stop, first down. Tarkenton fades back to pass. Medium hitch to Watson. Diving catch. Tarkenton completes the pass to Watson, 16-yard gain, Briggs with the tackle, first down. Barber with the handoff. Barber the ball carrier, gain of 9, CL on the tackle. The handoff to Barber. Barber lost 1 on the play, Briggs on the tackle. 3rd and 2. Tarkenton fades back to pass. Short hitch to Moore, complete. Tarkenton to Moore, gain of 9, Sherman on the tackle, first down. 1st and 10 at the 22. Tarkenton at the line. Johnson with the handoff. Johnson on the carry, gain of 2, Siao on the tackle. 2nd and 8. The give to Johnson. Has an opening. Johnson gains 15 on the sweep, Wagner on the tackle, first down. Virginians ahead by 7. Tarkenton hands to Barber. Barber on the carry, loss of 1, Porter on the tackle. Flag on the field.
False start. Offense. Number 61, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Play 62-yard drive. They've used 7:06 on the clock. Garner takes the handoff. Garner with a gain of 3 on the play, Polamalu on the tackle. 3rd and goal from the 8. Tarkenton calls the signals. Current drive, 12 plays, 65 yards. They've used 7:48 on the clock. Tarkenton fades back to pass. Medium slant. Tarkenton passes to Moore, incomplete. Sherman with
pass interference. Defense. Number 25. Automatic. First down.
Stack line. They're chewing up the clock. Garner with the ball now. Garner on the carry, no gain, Siao on the tackle. Goal line defense. Tarkenton hands to Garner. Garner on the carry, no gain, Porter on the tackle. 3rd and goal from the 1. Goal line defense. Time-consuming drive. Garner with the handoff. Garner on the carry. Touchdown Virginia. Graham S. will try the point after. Graham converts the extra point. Virginia 21.
Offsides.
California 7.
Defense. 5-yard penalty.
Here's the kick from Graham. The kick from Graham is returned 26 yards by Grayson, Taylor on the tackle. 1st and 10 from the 28. Brady drops back to pass. Medium curl to Adams. He dropped it. Brady to Adams, incomplete. Barber on the coverage.
No timeout will be charged.
Brady with 3-step drop. Short into Gonzalez, complete. Brady completes the pass to Gonzalez, gain of 11, easily with the tackle, first down. Brady hands to Simpson. Simpson with the carry, 6-yard gain, easily on the tackle. Brady drops back to pass. He throws into a tight window to Adams. Diving catch. Brady passes to Adams, gain of 16, Barber on the tackle, first down. California trailing by 14. Brady calls the signals. Takes a deep drop. Screen. Incomplete. Brady throws incomplete to Cunningham, sharper on the coverage. Brady fades back to pass. Dropped by Smith. Brady is sacked by Smith, loss of 9. 3rd and 19 at the 37. California in a hurry up. Shotgun. Brady sets up in the pocket. Brady throws to Simpson. He dropped it. Brady to Simpson, incomplete, Lanier on the coverage. Camarillo to punt. "37-yard punt by Camarillo, touchback. Tarkenton fades back to pass. Medium hitch to Barber. Complete. Tarkenton to Barber, gain of 7, Seau on the tackle. Tarkenton fades back to pass. Tarkenton is off and running. 1-yard gain by Tarkenton, Grayson on the tackle. Third and 2 from the 28. Tarkenton fades back to pass. Short out to Moore. Incomplete. Tarkenton throws incomplete to Moore. Penalty flag.
Ineligible man downfield. Offense. Number 76. 5-yard penalty.
Jet back in punt formation. "52-yard punt by Jet, return of 8 by Smith. Brady with a hard count. Brady at the line. The field is in lousy shape. Transfers control to Simpson. Simpson lost 1 on the play, easily on the tackle. California hustling to the line. Brady sets to throw. Short outside pass to Adams. He dropped it. Brady throws incomplete to Adams, Barber on the coverage. 3rd and 11. Brady with the hard count. Shotgun. Brady at the line. Drops back to pass. Brady throws to Adams. Complete. Brady completes the pass to Adams, gain of 9, Barber on the tackle. Camarillo to punt. "55-yard punt by Camarillo, return of 2 by Gray.
Holding. Receiving team. 5-yard penalty.
The handoff to Barber. Barber with the carry, no gain, Grayson on the tackle. 2nd and 10 from the 5. Tarkenton sets to throw. Medium hitch to Toon. Incomplete. Tarkenton throws incomplete to Toon, Allen on the coverage. 3rd and 10 from the 5. Shotgun formation. Tarkenton at the line. Back to pass. Tarkenton dumps it to Johnson. He dropped it. Tarkenton to Johnson, incomplete, Seau on the coverage. Jet to punt. Standing in the end zone. "48-yard punt by Jet, out of bounds. Brady with the hard count. Takes a quick drop. Short slant to Smith. Incomplete. Brady throws incomplete to Smith. Sample on the coverage. Brady with the hard count. Shotgun formation. Brady drops back to pass. Short outside pass to Smith. He dropped it. Brady to Smith. Incomplete. Third and 10. Brady with a hard count. Brady at the line. He fades back to pass. Brady passes to Johnson. Incomplete. Brady throws incomplete to Johnson, easily on the coverage. Camarillo to punt. Gray standing inside his own 10. "39-yard punt by Camarillo, out of bounds. Tarkenton at the line. Fades back to pass. Long fly. Incomplete. Tarkenton to Moore, incomplete. Sherman on the coverage. Tarkenton fades back to pass. Medium into Toon. Incomplete. Tarkenton throws incomplete to Toon. Third and 10. Pitch left to Barber. Barber on the carry, gain of 8, Allen on the tackle. Jet back in punt formation. "51-yard punt by Jet, 14-yard return by Smith."
Illegal block. Receiving team.
First and 10 at the 14. Brady with a hard count. Brady slow to the line. Brady gives to Simpson. Simpson with a gain of 3 on the play, Smith on the tackle. End of the first half, Virginia 21, California 7. Graham to kick off. The kick from Graham is returned 40 yards by Smith. Warrior on the tackle. The handoff to Simpson. Simpson on the carry, gain of 6, Taylor on the tackle. California down by 14. Brady gives to Simpson. Simpson the ball carrier, gain of 6, Brown on the tackle, first down. The give to Simpson. 3-yard run by Simpson, Brooks on the tackle. Brady at the line. Brady gives to Simpson. Simpson with a 1-yard run, Lanier on the tackle. Third and 6 from the 29. Brady barks out the signals. Brady hands to Simpson. Simpson the ball carrier, no gain, Barber on the tackle. 47-yard kick for Turner. Weddle to hold. Clean snap from center. Turner is good from 47, Virginia 21, California 10. Here's the kick from Johnson. The kick from Johnson is returned 48 yards by Gray.
Holding.
On the tackle.
Receiving team. 10-yard penalty.
The hand off to Barber. Barber on the carry, loss of 1, Porter on the tackle. Barber with the transfer. Barber the ball carrier, gain of 2, Davidson on the tackle. Virginians ahead by 11. 3rd and 9 from the 28. Shotgun. Tarkenton fades back to pass. Tarkenton throws to Clark. Complete. Tarkenton to Clark, gain of 3, Allen on the tackle. Jet from punt formation. "44-yard punt by Jet, return of 12 by Smith." California trailing by 11. 1st and 10. 8:58 in the 3rd. Brady hands to Cunningham. Cunningham with a 2-yard run, Lanier on the tackle. 2nd and 8. Brady with a short drop. Short pass to Johnson. Incomplete. Brady throws incomplete to Johnson, Sample on the coverage. 3rd and 8 from the 39. Draw to Simpson. Simpson gains 8 on the draw, Lanier with the tackle, 1st down. Brady hands to Simpson. Simpson with a gain of 3 on the play, Taylor on the tackle. California down 11. 2nd and 7 from the 50. 6:44 in the 3rd. Adams is doubled at the line. Brady fades back to pass. Medium hitch to Johnson. He dropped it. Brady throws incomplete to Johnson, Sample on the coverage. 3rd and 7 from the 50. Brady fades back to pass. Brady throws to Adams. He's got it. Brady to Adams, gain of 4, Barber on the tackle. Camarillo to punt. Sample waiting inside his own 10. "46-yard punt by Camarillo, touchback." Tarkenton gives to Barber. Barber on the carry, gain of 3, Wagner on the tackle. 2nd and 7 from the 23. Tarkenton shovels it to Barber. 3-yard run by Barber, Porter on the tackle. 3rd and 4. Barber on the draw. Wide, Barber with the carry, touchdown Virginia. Graham S. will try the point after. Graham makes the extra point, Virginia 28, California 10. Here's the kick from Graham. The kick from Graham is returned 33 yards by Grayson, Taylor on the tackle. Brady drops back to pass. Medium crossing pass to Adams. He makes the catch. Brady completes the pass to Adams, gain of 16, Barber on the tackle, 1st down. Brady fades back to pass. He throws underneath to Simpson. Incomplete. Brady to Simpson, incomplete, Lanier with the coverage. 2nd and 10. Brady drops back to pass. It's dumped to Cunningham. He dropped it. Brady to Cunningham, incomplete, Sharper on the coverage. 3rd and 10. Shotgun. Brady at the line. Brady back to pass. Brady throws underneath to complete. Brady completes the pass to Simpson, 7-yard gain, Lanier on the tackle. 4th and 3 from the 36. Brady drops back to pass. Short hitch to Johnson. Incomplete. Brady to Johnson, incomplete, easily on the coverage. Virginians by 18. Tarkenton hands to Barber. Lots of daylight. Barber with the carry, gain of 12, Allen on the stop, first down. Slowly coming to the line. Tarkenton at the line. The hand off to Johnson. Johnson the ball carrier, gain of 2, Seau on the tackle. Cavaliers ahead by 18. The offense is in no hurry. Running right. Barber on the pitch, gain of 4, Sherman on the tackle. Virginians leads by 18. 3rd and 4 from the 46. Tarkenton working very slowly. Tarkenton at the line. Draw to Barber. 4-yard gain by Barber, Briggs on the tackle, first down, end of the 3rd quarter, Virginia 28, Virginia leads by 18. Tarkenton at the line. Johnson with the handoff. Johnson the ball carrier, 4-yard gain, Porter on the tackle. Virginia by 18. They're in a slow down. Tarkenton at the line. Johnson with the handoff. Johnson on the carry, gain of 8, Porter on the tackle, first down. 1st and 10. Virginia taking their time. Moore is doubled at the line. Tarkenton gives to Barber. Barber on the carry, no gain, Briggs on the tackle. Tarkenton taking his time. The hand off to Barber. Barber the ball carrier, no gain, Seau on the stop. 3rd and 10 from the 30. They're taking their time. Tarkenton is back to pass. Medium slant. Complete. Tarkenton to Clark, gain of 7, Allen on the tackle. 41-yard try for Graham. Jet to hold. Block. The kick by Graham is blocked by. First and 10 from the 33. Brady fades back to pass. Taylor takes him down. Brady is sacked by Taylor, loss of 10. California trailing by 18. Shotgun formation. Brady at the line. He fades back to pass. Brady throws underneath to Johnson, complete. Brady completes the pass to Johnson, gain of 6, Sample on the tackle. 3rd and 14. Brady at the line. He fades back to pass. Short slant to Smith. Incomplete. Brady passes to Smith, incomplete. Camarillo to punt. A 51-yard punt by Camarillo, 12-yard return by Sample. 1st and 10 from the 32. Tarkenton hands to Barber. Barber on the carry, gain of 2, Porter on the tackle. Tarkenton working very slowly. Tarkenton pitches left to Johnson. Johnson lost 4 on the play, Glover on the tackle. Virginia by 18. 3rd and 12. Virginia in no hurry. Tarkenton fades back to pass. Medium fly to Miller. Incomplete. Tarkenton throws incomplete to Miller. Jet will punt. A 48-yard punt by Jet, return of 11 by Eller. Brady calling the signals. The field is getting slippery. Brady hands to Simpson. 2-yard run by Simpson, Smith on the tackle. 2nd and 8. California in a hurry up. Brady sets up in the pocket. Medium outside pass to Smith, complete. Brady to Smith, gain of 11, springs on the tackle, first down. California in a hurry up. Brady calling signals. The give to Simpson. Simpson with a gain of 1 on the play, Sharper on the tackle. They're in a hurry up. Brady drops back to pass. Brady throws to Simpson. Incomplete. Brady to Simpson, incomplete, Taylor with the coverage. 3rd and 9 from the 47. Brady in the shotgun. Brady at the line. Sets to throw. Short hitch. Complete to Adams. Brady completes the pass to Adams, gain of 7, Barber with the tackle. 4th and 2 from the 46. They're in a hurry up. Brady back to pass. Long fly to Ellard. Complete. Brady completes the pass to Ellard, touchdown California. Turner will try the point after. Turner makes the extra point, Virginia 28, California 17. Johnson boots it. The kick from Johnson is returned 29 yards by Gray, Nickerson on the tackle. Virginia by 11. Barber with the handoff. Barber with the carry, 1 yard gain, Seau with the tackle. Virginia working slowly. Doubling more at the line. Clark is doubled at the line. Tarkenton gives to Barber. Barber on the carry, loss of 1, Davidson on the tackle. 3rd and 10. Tarkenton slow to the line. Tarkenton barks out the signals. He fades back to pass. Screen. Caught by Barber in the backfield. Tarkenton to Barber, gain of 7, Seau on the tackle. Jet from punt formation. Ellard waiting inside his own 10. "39-yard punt by Jet, out of bounds. The field is getting slick. Brady drops back to pass. Medium sideline pass. Complete. Brady completes the pass to Johnson, gain of 4, Sample on the tackle. Brady calling the signals. Hand off to Simpson. Simpson on the carry, no gain, Brown on the stop. 3rd and 6 from the 10. Hurry up. Shotgun. Doubling Johnson at the line. Adams is doubled at the line. Ellard faces a double at the line. Brady fades back to pass. Sacked by Brown. Brady is sacked by Brown, loss of 6. Camarillo to punt. From the back of the end zone. "52-yard punt by Camarillo, return of 2 by Gray. Hand off to Johnson. Johnson with the carry, gain of 1, Grayson on the tackle. Virginia by 11. 2nd and 9 from the 47. 2:35 left in the 4th. Hand off to Johnson. Johnson with a gain of 2 on the play, Polamalu with the tackle. 2-minute warning. Third and 7 at the 49. The hand off to Barber. Barber on the carry, no gain, Porter on the tackle. Jet back to punt. Smith standing inside his own 10. "33-yard punt by Jet, out of bounds. Shotgun formation. The field is in lousy shape. Brady drops back to pass. Brady passes to Ellard. Incomplete. Brady throws incomplete to Ellard, easily on the coverage. California down 11. Brady sets up in the pocket. Brady throws underneath to Simpson, complete. Brady passes to Simpson, gain of 3, easily on the tackle. California trailing by 11. 3rd and 7 at the 21. 1:38 left in the fourth. Brady drops back to pass. Medium outside pass to Smith, complete. Brady to Smith, 7-yard gain, springs on the tackle, first down. Brady fades back to pass. Long hitch to Smith. Incomplete. Brady throws incomplete to Smith, springs on the coverage. California trailing by 11. 2nd and 10 at the 28. Brady fades back to pass. Short out to Adams. He makes the catch. Brady with the pass to Adams, gain of 6, Barber on the tackle. California down by 11. 3rd and 4 from the 34. 1:23 left in the game. Brady fades back to pass. Brady will run. 4-yard gain by Brady, Sharper with the tackle. 4th and a foot from the 38. California in a hurry up. Brady drops back to pass. Short outside pass to Adams. Incomplete. Brady to Adams, incomplete, Barber with the coverage. Tarkenton takes a knee. Tarkenton will take a knee. Virginia 28, California 17. Welcome to Orange Bowl. Alabama takes on Oklahoma. Brown with the kick. The kick from Brown is returned 34 yards by Duncan, Laughlin on the tackle. Running right. With the lane. Jackson on the pitch, gain of 13, Sparks with the tackle, first down. 1st and 10. Rivers sets to throw. Rivers dumps it to Jackson. Incomplete. Rivers passes to Jackson, incomplete, Minor on the coverage. Flag on the field.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense. Number 99. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Second and 5 from the 44. Jackson with the handoff. With daylight. Jackson with a gain of 14 on the play, Gilden on the stop, first down. 1st and 10 from the 30. Rivers drops back to pass. Long curl. Incomplete. Rivers with the pass to Owens, incomplete, Green with the coverage. Hand off to Jackson. 1-yard run by Jackson, Minor on the tackle. 3rd and 9 from the 29. Rivers in the shotgun. Rivers calling the signals. Rivers back to pass. Medium slant to Owens. Incomplete. Rivers throws incomplete to Owens. A 47-yard attempt for Ray. This will give them the lead. Ray made the 47-yard field goal, Alabama 3, Oklahoma 0. Here's the kick from Ray. The kick from Ray is returned 29 yards by Izuma. Brazil with the tackle.
Receiving team, 10-yard penalty.
Bradford with 3-step drop. Short into Welker. Incomplete. Bradford throws incomplete to Welker, Dixon on the coverage. Bradford fades back to pass. Medium slant to Dial. He's got it. Bradford with the pass to Dial, 25-yard gain, Harper on the tackle, first down. 1st and 10. Bradford at the line. Fades back to pass. Medium out pass to Welker. Incomplete. Bradford to Welker, incomplete, Dixon with the coverage. Flag on the play.
False start. Offense. Number 79, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Second and 15 at the 30. Jacobs in the slot. Shotgun. Bradford fades back to pass. Bradford checks down to Jacobs. He makes the catch. Bradford to Jacobs, gain of 5, Brazil on the tackle. 3rd and 10 from the 35. Bradford fades back to pass. Medium hitch to Shockey. Incomplete. Bradford throws incomplete to Shockey, Rhodes with the coverage. Way back in punt formation. A 38-yard punt by Way, out of bounds. Hand off to Jackson. Jackson on the carry, gain of 5, penalty on the play.
Holding. Offense. Number 71, 10-yard penalty.
Rivers fades back to pass. Medium hitch to Phillips. Complete. Rivers to Phillips, 12-yard gain, Case on the tackle. Rivers at the line. Someone jumped. Possible free play for Rivers. Rivers fades back to pass. Rivers throws underneath to Newsom. Incomplete. Rivers passes to Newsom, incomplete. Penalty flag.
Encroachment. Defense. Number 99. 5-yard penalty.
Jackson takes the handoff. 1-yard run by Jackson, McCoy with the tackle. 3rd and 2 from the 35. Rivers gives to Jackson. Has an opening. 11-yard run by Jackson, Sparks on the tackle, 1st down. Rivers fades back to pass. Rivers throws to Jones. Complete. Rivers completes the pass to Jones, gain of 6, Harris on the tackle. Draw to Nathan. Nathan on the carry, gain of 6, Hampton on the tackle, 1st down. 1st and 10 from the 42. The handoff to Jackson. Jackson on the carry, gain of 9, Minert on the tackle. Cotney in run support. Jackson takes the handoff. Jackson the ball carrier, no gain, Hampton on the stop. 3rd and 1 from the 33. Rivers gives to Howard. Howard on the carry, no gain, Minert on the stop. 4th and 1 at the 33. Rivers at the line. The handoff to Howard. Howard with the carry, gain of 5, flag on the field.
Holding. Offense. Number 11. 10-yard penalty.
Beverly deep in punt formation. Gordon waiting inside his own 10. "41-yard punt by Beverly, out of bounds. Bradford calls the signals. Fades back to pass. Short cross to Shockey. Complete. Bradford completes the pass to Shockey, 7-yard gain, Rhodes on the stop. Bradford calling signals. Jacobs with the handoff. Jacobs on the carry, loss of 1, Vaughan with the tackle. 3rd and 4. Bradford with a short drop. Short outside pass. Incomplete. Bradford to Dial, incomplete, Harper on the coverage. Way deep in punt formation. Standing in the end zone. "50-yard punt by Way, out of bounds. Rivers drops back to pass. Long outside pass. Incomplete. Rivers throws incomplete to Castor, Cotney on the coverage. 2nd and 10 from the 42. Doubling Owens at the line. Rivers fades back to pass. Screen to Nathan. Complete. Rivers to Nathan, gain of 6, Gilden on the tackle. 3rd and 4 from the 48. Rivers sets to throw. Screen to Jackson. Complete. Rivers completes the pass to Jackson, gain of 7, Banks with the tackle, 1st down. Rivers barks out the signals. Rivers pitches right to Howard. Howard with the carry, gain of 3, Gilden on the tackle. Rivers shovels it to Nathan. Nathan the ball carrier, no gain, Harris on the tackle. End of the first quarter, Alabama 3, Oklahoma 0. 3rd and 7 from the 42. Rivers at the line. Drops back to pass. Medium cross to Newsome. He makes the catch. Rivers completes the pass to Newsome, gain of 11, Sparks on the tackle, first down. 1st and 10. Oklahoma jumped. The handoff to Jackson. Jackson with the carry, gain of 6, penalty on the play.
Encroachment. Defense. Number 93, 5-yard penalty.
First and 5 at the 26. The handoff to Nathan. Nathan on the carry, loss of 1, McCoy with the tackle. Rivers with a quick drop. Short hitch to Newsome. Incomplete. Rivers to Newsome, incomplete, flag on the field.
Illegal contact. Defense. Number 25, 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Rivers hands to Jackson. Jackson with the carry, 2-yard gain, McCoy on the stop. Rivers drops back to pass. Short cross, complete. Rivers to Owens, gain of 8, Green on the tackle, first down. Current drive, 11 plays, 46 yards. They've used 5:40 on the clock. Give to Howard. Howard the ball carrier, loss of 2, McCoy on the tackle. Current drive, 12 plays, 44 yards. 6:18 off the clock. Rivers drops back to pass. Short hitch to Phillips. Incomplete. Rivers to Phillips, incomplete, Case on the coverage. 3rd and 12 at the 14. Rivers from the shotgun. Rivers calls out the signals. Rivers fades back to pass. Rivers throws to Nathan. He dropped it. Rivers to Nathan, incomplete, flag on the field.
Roughing the passer. Defense. Number 33. Automatic first down.
I formation. Give to Jackson. Jackson with a 5-yard run, Cotney with the tackle. 2nd and goal at the 2. Oklahoma stacked the line. Current drive, 14 plays, 56 yards. 7:15 off the clock. The handoff to Jackson. Jackson on the carry, touchdown Alabama. Ray will try the point after. Ray converts the extra point, Alabama 10, Oklahoma 0. Ray to kick off. The kick from Ray is returned 28 yards by Izuma, Jordan on the stop. Bradford fades back to pass. Pass in the flat to Jacobs, complete. Bradford completes the pass to Jacobs, 11-yard gain, Vaughn on the tackle, first down. Bradford fades back to pass. Sacked by Buchanan. Bradford is sacked by Buchanan, loss of 5. Jacobs split wide. Bradford calls out the signals. Bradford with a short drop. Throws to Largent's back shoulder. Complete. Bradford passes to Largent, 9-yard gain, Humphrey on the stop. 3rd and 6 from the 49. Draw to Jacobs. Jacobs on the draw, gain of 8, Rhodes on the tackle, first down. First and 10. The handoff to Jacobs. 3-yard gain by Jacob, flag on the field.
Holding. Offense. Number 79, 10-yard penalty.
Bradford calls out the signals. Bradford pitches right to Jacobs. 6-yard run by Jacobs, Dixon on the tackle. Jacobs lines up outside. Bradford fades back to pass. Medium slant to Dial. Incomplete. Bradford to Dial, incomplete. Penalty on the play.
False start. Offense. Number 80, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, third down.
Third and 19 from the 50. Bradford fades back to pass. He dumps it to Jacobs. Incomplete. Bradford passes to Jacobs, incomplete. Way will kick it away. Duncan waiting inside his own 10. "34-yard punt by Way, out of bounds. Rivers drops back to pass. Short hitch to Newsom. Incomplete. Rivers throws incomplete to Newsom, Sparks on the coverage. Second and 10. Rivers at the line. Rivers gives to Nathan. Nathan with a gain of 3 on the play, Minert on the tackle. Third and 7. Rivers fades back to pass. Short sideline pass to Owens, complete. Rivers passes to Owens, gain of 8, Green on the tackle, first down. First and 10. Jackson with the handoff. Jackson with a 4-yard run, Gastineau on the tackle. Second and 6 from the 31. Rivers fades back to pass. Rivers throws to Jackson, complete. Rivers passes to Jackson, 7-yard gain, Minert on the tackle, first down. I formation. Rivers with a short drop. Short out to Nathan, complete. Rivers completes the pass to Nathan, gain of 15, Banks with the tackle, first down. Jackson with the handoff. Jackson with a gain of 5 on the play, Minert on the tackle. Alabama ahead by 10. Second and 5. Busted play. Rivers on the carry, loss of 3, Minert on the tackle. Third and 8 from the 45. Rivers from the shotgun. Fades back to pass. Short hitch to Newsom. Complete. Rivers completes the pass to Newsom, gain of 5, Sparks on the tackle. Beverly from punt formation. Horton standing inside his own 10. "38-yard punt by Beverly, no return. Bradford with a hard count. Bradford fades back to pass. Medium hitch to Welker. He dropped it. Bradford throws incomplete to Welker, Dixon on the coverage. Bradford at the line. Jacobs with the handoff. Jacobs with a 1-yard run, Rhodes on the tackle. Third and 9. Jacobs split out wide. Shotgun. Bradford drops back to pass. Bradford dumps it to Calhoun, complete. Bradford completes the pass to Calhoun, touchdown Alabama, fumble recovered by Tuck, return for an Alabama touchdown. Ray will try the point after. The kick by Ray is no good. Alabama 16, Oklahoma 0. The kick from Ray. The kick from Ray is returned 26 yards by Izuma, where on the tackle. Bradford fades back to pass. Medium outside pass to Welker, complete. Bradford completes the pass to Welker, gain of 5, Dixon with the tackle. Bradford calling signals. He fades back to pass. Sacked by Tuck. Bradford is sacked by Tuck, loss of 8. Third and 13. Trips right. Shotgun. Bradford fades back to pass. Medium hitch to Dial. He dropped it. Bradford throws incomplete to Dial, Rhodes on the coverage. Way deep in punt formation. "67-yard punt by Way, touchback." Penalty on the play.
False start. Offense. Number 71, 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Alabama by 16. First and 15 from the 15. 1:14 in the second. Rivers at the line. Fades back to pass. Medium slant. Caught by Jones at the 28. Rivers to Jones, gain of 21, Harris on the tackle, first down. Howard with the handoff. Howard on the carry, no gain, Minert on the tackle. Second and 10 from the 36. Rivers barks out the signals. He fades back to pass. Short sideline pass to Phillips, complete. Rivers to Phillips, gain of 8, Case with the tackle. Third and 2 from the 44. Shotgun formation. Rivers fades back to pass. Screen to Nathan. Complete. Rivers to Nathan, no gain, Banks on the tackle. Beverly back in punt formation. "44-yard punt by Beverly, fair catch by Welker." Bradford running. End of the first half, Alabama 16, Oklahoma 0. Here's the kick from Ray. The kick from Ray is returned 38 yards by Izuma, Ware with the tackle. Cowboys trailing by 16. Hand off to Jacobs. 2-yard gain by Jacobs, Humphrey with the tackle. Bradford calling signals. He fades back to pass. Medium cross to Welker. Incomplete. Bradford to Welker, incomplete. Third and 8. Shotgun formation. Bradford at the line. Fades back to pass. Short into Largent. He dropped it. Bradford to Largent, incomplete. Way back in punt formation. Cribbs waiting inside his own 10. "37-yard punt by Way, return of 3 by Cribbs. First and 10 from the 19. Rivers hands to Jackson. Jackson with a 2-yard run, Hampton on the tackle. Rivers at the line. Rivers drops back to pass. Medium sideline pass to Jones. Incomplete. Rivers passes to Jones, incomplete. Harris with the
intentional
coverage.
Grounding. Offense, number 17, 10-yard penalty. Loss of down.
Third and 18 from the 11. Rivers from the shotgun. He fades back to pass. Rivers dumps it to Newsome. Complete. Rivers completes the pass to Newsome, gain of 2, Sparks on the tackle. Beverly back in punt formation. A 45-yard punt by Beverly, no return. I formation. Bradford fades back to pass. Screen to Jacobs. Complete. Bradford to Jacobs, gain of 3, Brazil on the tackle. Bradford drops back to pass. Bradford dumps it to Calhoun. Complete. Bradford completes the pass to Calhoun, gain of 8, Hopkins on the tackle, first down. Bradford calls out the signals. Bradford with the give to Calhoun. Calhoun on the carry, gain of 4, Dansby on the tackle. Jacobs with the handoff. Jacobs on the carry, gain of 3, Tolbert with the tackle. Oklahoma trailing by 16. Third and 3 from the 40. Bradford fades back to pass. Long slant to Dial. Complete. Bradford passes to Dial, gain of 17, Rhodes on the tackle, first down. Dial is doubled at the line. Jacobs with the handoff. Jacobs on the carry, loss of 1, Tolbert on the tackle. Bradford calls out the signals. Takes a 5-step drop. Medium hitch. Complete. Bradford passes to Welker, gain of 12, Dixon with the tackle, first down. Current drive, 7 plays, 46 yards. 4:57 off the clock. Bradford sets to throw. Short cross. Incomplete. Bradford to Welker, incomplete, Dixon with the coverage. Trips left. Bradford barks out the signals. Bradford fades back to pass. Medium button hook to Welker. Incomplete. Bradford passes to Welker, incomplete, Dixon on the coverage. Third and 10 from the 12. Jacobs split out wide. Bradford from the shotgun. He fades back to pass. Medium cross to Welker. Complete. Bradford completes the pass to Welker, gain of 8, Dixon on the tackle. 22-yard attempt for Brown. Brown made the 22-yard field goal, Alabama 16, Oklahoma 3. The kick from Brown is downed by Duncan. Rivers drops back to pass. Medium crossing pattern. Incomplete. Rivers throws incomplete to Newsome. Second and 10 at the 35. Rivers fades back to pass. Medium cross to Owens. Incomplete. Rivers passes to Owens, incomplete. Third and 10. Rivers fades back to pass. He throws underneath to Newsome, complete. Rivers passes to Newsome, 7-yard gain, Sparks on the stop. Beverly from punt formation. A 42-yard punt by Beverly, return of 2 by Welker. Bradford gives to Jacobs. Jacobs on the carry, gain of 7, Tolbert on the tackle. Oklahomans down by 13. 2nd and 3. Bradford drops back to pass. Medium into Shockey. He dropped it. Bradford throws incomplete to Shockey. Penalty flag.
Holding. Offense. Number 63, 10-yard penalty.
Bradford at the line. Bradford fades back to pass. Medium fly to Welker. Complete. Bradford completes the pass to Welker, touchdown Oklahoma. Brown J will try the point after. Brown makes the extra point, Alabama 16, Oklahoma 10. The kick from Brown is downed by Duncan. Rivers fades back to pass. Cotney sacks him. Rivers is sacked by Cotney, loss of 9. 2nd and 19 from the 26. Rivers in the shotgun. Rivers calls the signals. Rivers sets up in the pocket. Medium in. Caught by Jones at the 44. Rivers completes the pass to Jones, gain of 20, Harris on the tackle, first down. The handoff to Jackson. Jackson with the carry, 5-yard gain, flag on the play.
Offsetting penalties. Repeat first down.
Takes a 5-step drop. Medium cross to Jones. Complete. Rivers passes to Jones, gain of 31, Harris with the tackle, first down. Alabama ahead by 6. 1st and 10. Rivers hands to Jackson. Jackson with a gain of 1 on the play, Cotney on the tackle. Alabama leads by 6. 2nd and 9 at the 22. 1:22 in the 3rd. Rivers barks out the signals. Back to pass. Medium hitch to Jones. Incomplete. Rivers with the pass to Jones, incomplete, Harris on the coverage. 3rd and 9 from the 22. Rivers fades back to pass. Short out to Newsom. Incomplete. Rivers to Newsom, incomplete, Sparks on the coverage. 40-yard kick for Ray. Ray with the snap. Ray missed the 40-yard attempt. Oklahoma trailing by 6. Give to Jacobs. Jacobs on the sweep, 5-yard gain, Humphrey on the tackle. And off to Jacobs. Fumble. Jacobs on the carry, loss of 1, fumble recovered by Dansby, Alabama ball. Rivers calling signals. Rivers with the give to Nathan. Nathan with a gain of 6 on the play, Sparks on the tackle. End of the 3rd quarter, Alabama 16, Oklahoma 10. Alabama by 6. Rivers hands to Jackson. 2-yard run by Jackson, Casillas on the tackle. 3rd and 2 from the 26. Rivers at the line. Takes a quick drop. Short slant. Phillips with the catch at the 16. Rivers completes the pass to Phillips, gain of 10, Case on the tackle, first down. Rivers at the line. Drops back to pass. He dumps it to Jackson. Incomplete. Rivers to Jackson, incomplete, Banks on the coverage. Rivers calls the signals. Rivers pitches left to Jackson. Jackson on the pitch, loss of 4, Gilden on the tackle. 3rd and 14. Shotgun formation. Rivers fades back to pass. Medium out pass. Incomplete. Rivers throws incomplete to Jones. Penalty on the play.
Holding. Offense. Number 71, 10-yard penalty.
"38-yard try for Ray. True snap from center. Ray is good from 38 yards, Alabama 19, Oklahoma 10. Here's the kick from Ray. The kick from Ray is returned 17 yards by Lockett, Brazil on the tackle. Bradford hands to Jacobs. Jacobs on the carry, gain of 1, Hopkins on the tackle. Bradford fades back to pass. Bradford checks down to Jacobs, complete. Bradford completes the pass to Jacobs, gain of 11, Harper on the tackle, first down. Bradford back to pass. Medium hitch to Largent. He makes the catch. Bradford passes to Largent, gain of 9, Humphrey on the tackle. Bradford hands to Jacobs. Jacobs on the carry, no gain, Tolbert with the tackle. 3rd and 1 from the 44. Hard count from Bradford. Jacobs with the handoff. Jacobs lost 1 on the play, Rhodes on the tackle. Way from punt formation. "48-yard punt by Way, out of bounds. Pitch right to Nathan. Nathan on the pitch, gain of 7, Hampton on the tackle. Slow down offense. Rivers at the line. Oklahoma jump. Rivers gives to Jackson. 7-yard run by, flag on the field.
Encroachment. Defense. Number 99, 5-yard penalty.
First and 10 at the 23. Jackson takes the handoff. Jackson on the carry, loss of 1, Gastineau on the tackle. Alabama leads by 9. Alabama working slowly. Rivers barks out the signals. Sets to throw. Medium hitch to Newsome. Complete. Rivers to Newsome, gain of 9, Sparks on the tackle. Penalty flag.
False start. Offense. Number 22, 5-yard penalty.
Third and 7 from the 26. Rivers with a quick drop. Short crossing pattern to Newsome. Incomplete. Rivers throws incomplete to Newsome, Sparks on the coverage. Beverly back in punt formation. "38-yard punt by Beverly, return of 6 by Gordon. Oklahoma trailing by 9. First and 10 at the 42. Bradford fades back to pass. Medium slant to Clayton. Complete. Bradford completes the pass to Clayton. Gain of 13. Rhodes on the tackle. First down. They're in a hurry up. Bradford drops back to pass. Bradford dumps it to Jacobs. Complete. Bradford to Jacobs. Gain of 1. Brazil on the tackle. 2nd and 9. Oklahoma in a hurry up. Jacobs takes the handoff. Jacobs on the carry. Gain of 4. Rhodes with the tackle. 3rd and 5. Hurry up. Bradford in the shotgun. Bradford fades back to pass. Bradford passes to Jacobs. Complete. Bradford to Jacobs. Touchdown Oklahoma. Brown J will try the point after. Brown makes the extra point. Alabama 19, Oklahoma 17. The kick from Brown is downed by Duncan. Rivers gives to Nathan. Nathan gets to the second level. Nathan on the carry. Touchdown Alabama. Ray will try the point after. Ray makes the extra point. Alabama 26, Oklahoma 17. Here's the kick from Ray. The kick from Ray is returned 24 yards by Izuma, Ware on the tackle. 1st and 10 from the 26. Jacobs with the handoff. 1-yard run by Jacobs, Tuck on the tackle. Oklahoma in a hurry up. Bradford fades back to pass. Medium fly to Clayton. Incomplete. Bradford passes to Clayton. Incomplete. Rhodes on the coverage. 3rd and 9. Shotgun formation. Bradford back to pass. Medium cross to Clayton. He dropped it. Bradford throws incomplete to Clayton. Way back to punt. "48-yard punt by Way, return of 5 by Duncan."
Holding. Receiving team. 10-yard penalty.
Rivers calls the signals. Rivers hands to Nathan. Lots of daylight. Nathan on the carry, gain of 25, Green on the tackle, first down. Slow down offense. Jackson on the draw. Jackson lost 2 on the play, Minert on the tackle. 2nd and 12 at the 42. Rivers taking his time. Rivers gives to Jackson. Jackson the ball carrier, gain of 2, Gastineau on the tackle. Alabama ahead by 9. 3rd and 10 from the 44. Takes a 5-step drop. Medium into Jones. Complete. Rivers passes to Jones, 13-yard gain, Harris with the tackle, first down. 2-minute warning. Alabama ahead by 9. Jackson with the handoff. Room up the middle. Jackson on the carry, gain of 32, Gilden on the tackle, first down. Rivers calls out the signals. Rivers hands to Nathan. Nathan with the carry, no gain, Casillas on the tackle. Quick toss to Jackson. Room to run. Jackson the ball carrier, touchdown Alabama. Ray will try the point after. The kick by Ray is good. Alabama 33, Oklahoma 17. Here's the kick from Ray. The kick from Ray is returned 29 yards by Izuma, where on the tackle. Bradford from the shotgun. Bradford drops back to pass. Brazile sacks him. Bradford is sacked by Brazile, loss of 7. Oklahoma down 16. Jacobs in the slot. Some movement up front. Possible free play for Bradford. Fades back to pass. Sacked by Butts. Bradford is sacked by Butts, loss of 8. Penalty on the play.
Encroachment. Defense. Number 92, 5-yard penalty.
Cowboys trailing by 16. Bradford at the line. Bradford sets to throw. Long out pass. Incomplete. Bradford throws incomplete to Dial. Davis with the coverage. Cowboys down 16. 3rd and 12 from the 31. Bradford back to pass. Medium sideline pass to Welker, complete. Bradford to Welker, gain of 14, penalty on the play.
Offsides. Defense. Number 29, 5-yard penalty.
Bradford barks out the signals. Bradford drops back to pass. Long out to Dial. Incomplete. Bradford to Dial, incomplete.
Intentional grounding. Offense. Number 8, 10-yard penalty. Loss of down.
2nd and 20 at the 35. Bradford at the line. Someone jumped. Possible free play for Bradford. He fades back to pass. Dropped by Tolbert. Bradford is sacked by Tolbert. Flag on the field.
Encroachment. Defense. Number 92, 5-yard penalty.
Second and 15 at the 40. Bradford fades back to pass. Long outside pass to Largent. Incomplete. Bradford throws incomplete to Largent, Humphrey on the coverage. 3rd and 15 from the 40. Bradford drops back to pass. Long sideline pass to Largent, complete. Bradford to Largent, touchdown Oklahoma. The conversion failed, Alabama 33, Oklahoma 23. Hence team on the field. Brown boots it. Onside kick recovered by Alabama. Rivers will take a knee. Alabama 33, Oklahoma 23.